What is going on, guys? Billy Pinckney here alongside Eli Fishman. Now, today we're going to be talking about some of the guys to look out for, prospects in the Yankees system. Three of them who Eli feels are on the way up and have a very bright future in the Bronx. So, Eli, appreciate you coming on. Let's fire off those three prospects.
Of course. Thank you for having me as always. Number one, I want to start off with, the top prospect, the guy who everyone's talking about with all the shortstop, things going on for the Yankees, and that's Anthony Volpe. 20 years old, reached high this past season and had an insane season, especially in the power department. I believe he finished the season with 28 home runs in a shortened minor league season, absolutely raked, hit about 300. And defensively, an absolute wizard at shortstop. First round pick a couple of years ago, a breakout season this past year. And there's a lot to like in terms of everything, all five tools. And that's what I would focus on. He's a guy when you go to a minor league baseball game, there's very few people you see that have that it factor. They have that special whatever it is that just stands out on a baseball field. And that guy stands out above them all. And Anthony Volpe is probably 5'10", 5'11", 180 pounds. I don't know. He's a really small guy. He might be able to pass his 16, 17 years old. He's very small, but just the way he plays his heart out, stands out on the baseball field, hits the ball hard, plays great defense. And the second guy I'll talk about is a pitcher. Beck Way, righty, drafted this past season and made his pro debut for the Tampa Tarpons this year. Eventually made his way up to high A. Absolutely disgusting slider, a nice fastball as well. A starting pitcher, kind of a 3/4 off to the side angle a little bit. So a lot of deception. He was a lot of fun to watch. And, he's a couple years away, but maybe actually potentially at the end of this past season, I could even see him being a September call-up. He might start the season in Double-A. So he's a name that a lot of Yankee fans should know. He's going to have a breakout year this year. And finally, a guy I talk a lot about on Twitter. So if you follow me, you know him, Antonio Gomez, 19-year-old catcher. And he had a big time breakout season this year, hitting close to 300, a lot of power, a lot of, line drive power to all parts of the field. And he is one of the best defensive catchers you will see. Cannon for an arm, great receiving skills, and obviously there's a lot of talk about, the defensive catcher situation with the Yankees. But 2 years in the future, maybe a little bit more, you have a lot to look forward to with a guy who is one of the best defensive catchers I've literally ever seen at 19 years old. He's only 19, which is just crazy, playing in the same league as Jason Dominguez and all these guys with 22, 23-year-olds, and he was able to compete. So those are my three prospects to look out for.
There you go. Well, Eli, before we let you go, we have the shortstop situation for the Yankees. You just mentioned Anthony Volpe, who's a up and coming shortstop. Do you feel that they're going to wait and maybe sign a guy for a year or two and then bring up Volpe, or do you think they're going to go out and spend the money on a guy like Seager or Correa?
I think you can't spend a big money deal. I think under no circumstance you should. Even if you didn't have Volpe and Peraza, I think it's just not worth it for the current state of the Yankees. You have so many positions that you need to fill, but you do have Oswald Peraza. I think is going to be more of the concern for the Yankees with bringing in a new shortstop opposed to Volpe. Right there with Volpe and Peraza, you have two top prospects, two guys that can play shortstop at the big league level. Oswald Peraza is just about ready to put that shortstop position. You can't bring in $100 million contract and waste that money that you should be spending elsewhere when you don't really have a solidified starting rotation. You don't have a solidified center fielder. You don't have a solidified first baseman right now. You need to spend money elsewhere, not at shortstop. But you need a stopgap, a veteran who can come in, a 1-year deal, maybe a second or third year with options to see how Peraza and Volpe play out. And you need to get Peraza reps this season and potentially Volpe reps later this season or, spring training, wherever it may be, to get these guys big league experience, get them at bats whenever you can, because these two guys, Volpe and Peraza, they're the future. Every star baseball player, the best players in the game, were top prospects at one point. Obviously not all of them pan out, but a lot of them do. So, Volpe and Peraza need reps at the next level, and I'm excited to see exactly what they do. But you can't go out under no circumstances and sign anyone for a big time deal.
Great stuff, Eli. Appreciate it. Hopefully, we'll see soon what they decide to do, the Yankees here.
Absolutely. Thank you, as always.